What's up, everybody? This is your boy Trayvon here with Scent Talk TV, and today I'm going to do a full review on a fragrance from the house of Milestone. Yet again, another dope fragrance from the house of Milestone. Now, this one is inexpensive, and it is a dupe of a fragrance from Dolce & Gabbana, and I believe it's called Ambre, but this one is called something completely different, but at the same time, they do smell alike, considering the note breakdown from the original and the smell of the dupe. It matches up perfectly. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. So that particular fragrance from the house of Milestone, we have Velvet Collection Ambre. There we go. This fragrance ran me $15 and some change. You got the name of the fragrance, size and concentration at the bottom of the sticker. This is a EDP concentration, 100 milliliter size bottle. The atomizer, of course, is going to be dope, but let's show it off anyway. Beautiful. Ain't got no words, but beautiful. This fragrance is amazing. Beautiful, very sweet, warm, balsamic, creamy, smooth, vanilla type of a pill that you get out of here. A little bit of a smoky touch, a little bit of a spicy, sweet, and a woodsy touch at the same time. Has a little bit of like a sweet, warm fruitiness in the opening, which is just man, this fragrance is just so good. Milestone is hitting. It's kind of up there with Armaf and Lattafa, if I do say so myself, because man, Milestone has been killing it lately. Killing it in the rack stores lately. But let's just jump into those notes. Now, this fragrance does not have any type of note breakdown at all. So I went on Fragrantica and saw the original Dolce & Gabbana and looked at that one. I read the notes, and based off the performance on my skin, this fragrance and the notes from the original match up perfectly, like I said earlier in the video. So let's just jump into the notes once again. So in the top, you get some vanilla, labdanum, ylang-ylang, and bergamot. I have never seen the note of vanilla in the top note in any fragrance before. It's probably some out there, but this is my first time ever seeing it. But you get some vanilla, which is sweet, smooth, creamy, along with that, that spicy, leathery note, that powderiness from that labdanum. The ylang-ylang. You get that bittersweet, like banana fruity touch from it, from the ylang-ylang, and the bergamot, like a bitter tart citrusy type of touch that you don't get that much of, because that vanilla and that labdanum is very, very dominant over those other two notes, those fruity notes. But it's still there. Those fruity notes in the top is still there, but not dominant. So once you get to the mid, you get some smoked saddlewood pepper and some coriander. This is when it gets a little bit more spicy, gets a little bit more warmer, and it gets a little bit more of a smoky touch based off that smoke note. But the smokiness is not too dominant either. It's subtle hanging in the background. What I get most of is that smooth, like creamy-like wooziness from that saddlewood. A little bit of some spice from that pepper, and the coriander gives it like a balsamic type of a spice and woodiness at the same time. So it gets more spicy, it gets more woody as it persists on your skin. Once you get into the base notes, which is a lot of notes, you got amberwood, myrrh, apopanox, garwood, oud, a labdanum, benzoin, tonka bean, and cinnamon, as well as patchouli. That's a lot. That's a mouthful of base notes. But to sum it all up briefly, in the base, it gets even more warmer, more sweeter. You get that cinnamon, gives it like a soft, like spicy sweetness. The agarwood is not too noticeable. I don't get too much of that oud, but it's subtle. I do get a little bit of it, but all that warmth and sweetness and that balsamic spiciness, of course, that you get from this drowns that agarwood out. So I really don't get it, but it's still there subtly. Overall, fruity, subtle fruitiness, but like a balsamic, spicy, woodsy, smooth, sweet, just fall, winter oriented fragrance that is bomb, that is amazing. This is a steal of a fragrance for the way that this smells. If you see this, I highly recommend picking it up. $15 some change is a steal, it's robbery, it's a crime with this one. When I first smelled this in the store, I was like, man, jackpot. So I did give it a little bit of a wearing, and the projection and the performance was nice. You know, it wasn't a beast, but it wasn't weak or a slouch or an intimate sit either. But the projection on me was good within an hour, set close to the skin. I did overspray, by the way, giving me the total longevity of 5 to 6 hours. I believe if you overspray with this, you can get more, most definitely. But I highly recommend that you don't overspray when it's a little bit warmer outside. Like when I tested it out, I had no choice but to test it out in the summertime because we're still in summertime. So I tested it out like 2 or 3 weeks ago when I got it. And it did become cloying in the heat. It did become cloying, but it still projected nicely when I got indoors, where it did shrink, but it was still pushing out quite nicely. Didn't receive any compliments on this. Wasn't looking for any. I don't wear fragrances for compliments, but that doesn't mean that you wouldn't get any compliments, because it does have a strong, captivating, complimenting factor because of all the beautiful, well put notes that's inside of here. Will captivate some type of compliments towards you. So it does have a high complimenting factor based on my opinion, because the way that it smells. So yeah, it has a suitability to give you some compliments. Seasons to wear this bad boy. No summertime whatsoever. It's too warm, it's too sweet, it's too woozy, it's too balsamic, it's too spicy. It has a lot of hefty notes that's inside of here that is more suited for the fall and wintertime. You don't get any type of light notes like, you do, because that bergamot is a little bit like, on the fresher fruity side, citrusy, and that ylang-ylang, but everything else is just straight hefty notes. It's not gonna do well in the summertime and high heat, but I digress. So I would say fall and wintertime, maybe early spring when it's a little bit cooler, but definitely fall and wintertime with this bad boy. Now, age group, I think it's more suitable for all ages, because it does have a nice amount of sweetness for the younger crowds. Middle age on up, you got the maturity when it comes to that patchouli and that agar wood, which is not too noticeable, but based on those two notes, I'm pretty sure it's more suitable for the middle age and up, the older gentlemen as well. But in my opinion, I feel like all ages can wear this. If you like it, wear it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but specifically, all ages. If I haven't mentioned already, I think I mentioned it already, I got this at my local Marshalls, but you can get this at TJ Maxx as well. Marshalls and TJ Maxx, not Burlington's, not Ross at all. But yeah, if you see this beautiful fragrance anywhere in a while for the low price of $15 and change, get your hands on this. This is love in a bottle. You're beating yourself if you pass it up. Don't do any type of regrets or feel any type of regrets passing this up, because you will. Trust me. If you are a fan of warm, sweet, balsamic type of a scent, you will love this. So that's all that I have for Scent Talk TV, ladies and gentlemen. As always, you know what to do. You gotta like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there and be blessed, and have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.